Good day, everyone. King B here with another video. See that Stargate? We call the sun shining behind me. Yeah, it's still snow on the ground out here. But anyway, this video is a little tiny introduction into who I am, who King B is. Who is this King B? Well, first of all, what I'm going to get into is I keep my circle extremely small to the point where my circle is non-existent. I'm the type where I can be in the function, even if it's like a family gathering, the next thing you know, I'll disappear and go find a room or a corner where I can be alone. That's just me. But anyway, my circle is like barely nothing, and I keep it that way because I'm different. I am different, and it really does take a lot for anyone to really get close to me, and usually the only ones who can really get through the barriers, all of my barriers, and really connect with me is going to be a woman, and not just any woman. Okay? Your normal, average, everyday woman walking around can't get nowhere near me. And that's just the truth, y'all. Woman got to be different, like how I'm different. She got to have that spiritual potential. And usually, the ones who do, they don't know who they are yet. They don't realize the potential they have. And so, but I see it in them. And I also feel it. I feel it, because I vibe like that. I feel like that. I feel energy like that. I'm aware like that because of who I am, So usually for the ones who do, I give them a warning. Once I feel the energy and I realize the potential, I give them that warning. The warning usually goes something like this. I usually tell them, you gotta protect yourself. You gotta protect yourself because there is a war going on. Spiritual warfare is real, and if you are unaware and do not learn and you don't know how to protect yourself, one of these malevolent demonic forces will enter you and use your vessel, use you to get to me, and one of the most hardest things for me to deal with or have dealt with is to see it happen in real time, or to see someone who's connected to me start to become aware and awaken. And it's one of those things, it's like, how you're sleeping real good, and then all of a sudden that alarm clock go off, you're not ready to wake up, so you hit the snooze button, and 5 minutes later alarm go off again, you hit that snooze button again. It's kind of like that, where it's like, well, no, I don't want to wake up, I want to stay asleep, and they get taken over, and then the drama starts. It's one of the most hardest things to go through, but just a little introduction into me, and I wound up being by myself again. which is something that I'm quite comfortable with. I'm comfortable with being alone, you know, because it's easier for me to protect myself being alone, you know. But, shout out to all of the women, and it's only, believe me, it's small, y'all. It's real small. It's very, very small. You'd be surprised if I was to give you a number that has ever been close enough to me to where, we had that bond. They're all special, unique and special, and have that potential. It's just that, we all have the right to choose who we want to be, how we want to be, what energy we want to align ourselves with. That's all. You know what I'm saying? And that's all it is. I really look at all of the ladies as my professors. They test me. They all have, put me through certain tests and exams. Because this is school, y'all. There's no dropping out of this school. That's how I look at this so-called life. It's school, and we get tested. We get our exams. And the key is to pass the exams, in order to get to the next level. That's what it is. That's what this is, But it's a little introduction into me. That's why usually my videos, you see me by myself. You don't see anyone. It's rare, like, only my, my sons. But you don't see anybody with me. I'm always alone. I'm always by myself. And that's just me. That's just how I keep it. You know what I mean? Because when you deal with people, the bigger your circle, the more people in your life, the more drama and mess you're gonna go through. You're gonna go through, because people got all type of malevolent spirits and entities attached to them. And multiple at that, right? Multiple spirits attached to them. You ever be with someone, you think you know the person, and next thing you know, they transform and they there's something or someone completely different, and you don't know what's going on. You questioning, who in the world is this? Is this not the person that I thought I knew? They're completely different. Yes, I've seen it happen to me. It happened to me a few times. The way it's like, wow, man, what happened? I thought I knew you, and come to find out, you somebody different. But back to myself. Yeah, I keep my circle very, very small to where it's non-existent. I'm comfortable being alone because it's easier for me to protect myself, but I do try to open up at times, to get in order for me to go through the experience that I need in order for me to gain the experience and gain the wisdom and the knowledge, so that I can further grow and move on, because the main goal is to move on and get out of here and get to the next level. And that's it. You know what I'm saying? But just a small little introduction. I have learned to really do a better job of getting close with my family. Because even when it comes to family, I still, be alone and be by myself. But, I love my family. Family is important. It's very important. But I keep it tight. I keep the circle tight. I keep it to where it's barely a circle, y'all. That's just who I am, A lot of my videos, what y'all hear me talk about, I'll talk about, you know, spirituality, the way I talk about spirituality and experience of going through things. I'm really, I'm talking to y'all, but I'm talking to myself because, I'm drawing off of my own personal experiences, and those of you who watch my videos, and even from family to even the women some of the women I just finished talking about, they subscribe to my channel, they watch my videos. Y'all know what I'm talking about when I'm talking about it, but it's all love. I don't hold a grudge against anyone, I don't hold a grudge against anyone, against anybody. I love everyone, truly, unconditionally and deeply. And even if I gotta keep my distance from whoever it may be, that's not out of negativity. That's just really out of love. Sometimes, even if you love someone, sometimes you gotta keep your distance and separate yourself, when you need to. It don't mean you don't love them anymore. It just mean that's just what it come to. You know what I'm saying? But it's still all love, But that's about it, y'all. This is a small little introduction of who King B is, and there'll be more. There'll be, I'll do more of these videos talking about me and my life. I really have been talking about my life. It's just that you're not aware of it. But again, everything I talk about in my videos, a lot of it, I'm talking about my life. Y'all just unaware of that, But, there'll be more, and I'll do more introduction videos. But that's really it, y'all. To the next video. Be kind to yourself. Love yourself unconditionally. Forgive yourself. Give yourself a break, especially if you're trying and you're not giving up on yourself. We all make mistakes. We all in this life going through it. I remember a saying on the calendar that my mother had a long time ago back in the day. I don't even remember what month it was in, but each month had a specific saying, right? And it was this quote that said, "The saints are the sinners who keep trying." And that's just something that always stuck with me. I never forgot that quote. I should just go and just look at that quote on that calendar and just read it all the time. And it's one of those quotes that just stuck with me. The saints are the sinners who keep trying. So for those of you out there who keep trying to improve and get better, you're learning from your mistakes, you're trying to make it right, do right by yourself and do right against the ones who you do love and who love you. Shout out to you, peace and prosperity to you. Keep going, don't give up. So love yourself, keep your loved ones close, all right, the ones who truly do love you, and protect the babies, the children, the little ones, the women, the young men who are out here, the elderly. Can't forget the elderly, We got to do better, y'all, for those of us who are able and those of us who can. I just did a video, my last video, I was talking about we are the savior we are looking for. And that's a fact. We got to stop sitting by on our hands and expecting someone or some group to come and save us, or for someone to drop down from the sky and come save us. We are the savior. It's our responsibility. We have that authority and that power in us. Okay, and if we come together, we really truly can change this world and society for the better. Okay, it's our responsibility, no one else's. That's all I got. Till the next video, stay tuned, y'all. Peace and prosperity to each and every one of you. Thank you for tuning in. Peace.